Nigeria and wherever you are joining from. Welcome to Borderlines. I have today, you see, is a day of special guests. If I say to you bonjour, you all think I don't speak French, but I have a special guest. He's laughing already because he's like, so you say, Mom, you don't speak French. In my dreams, I speak French. And once I land Paris, I'm a French speaker. Isn't that so, Oliver?
Yeah, good
afternoon. Welcome. I have with me Oliver Becht. He's the Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade, Economic Attractiveness, and French Nationals Abroad. He's attached to the Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs. That is a long title.
Yes, indeed.
What does it mean? First of all, what does it tell us?
Foreign trade and economic attractiveness is on economic matters. Foreign trade is to take the French companies the end and go abroad and conquer new markets. And attractiveness is to convince the foreign companies to come in France because we are now the most attractive country in Europe. So this is a great job. And French nationals abroad, we have 3.5 million French citizens living outside the French territory. So I represented this French citizen. And we have some services from them, like, of course, the French school abroad. We have also Alliance Française. We have
my son went to Alliance Française.
Yeah,
that's why in my head I speak French. In my dream, I will always be a French speaker.
Yes, I'm quite sure with the Alliance Française you could be.
So before taking up this role, you were the chairman of the Committee on Culture of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe.
Yeah.
What does culture mean to you?
Well, I don't think there is one definition about culture, because culture is very personal and can be defined in many ways. But I like the African proverb that says, a man without culture is a zebra without stripes. So I like to think that culture is a common heritage where difference is an asset, and that is our duty to preserve it. Difference must inspire us to dialogue, to understand each other, to better learn from each other. And I think that Nigeria perfectly illustrates the cultural plurality that can exist within the same country with its different ethnic groups, its language, its traditions. So I think
of course we've always Nigerians and Nigeria and France have always had lots of strong cultural exchange, perhaps whether it's in music, it's in clothes, it's in theater, everything, we have it. Pierre Jarou, I think that was his former name. Yes, he was somebody that I worked with very closely. So I'm very aware of what the French do in Nigeria. Let me ask you another question. France and Nigeria are two countries with a cinema culture. What are the opportunities for collaboration in that space?
Yeah, I think our strong attachment to culture contributes to driving us closer, as you said. Nigeria is one of the emblematic countries of the continent for its strong development of culture and also creative industry with its movies and music industry as spearheads. France supports young entrepreneurs of the cultural and creative industry, including film, animation. Since 2020, the French embassy has been supporting the professionalization of young talents. France has already mobilized 1.7 million euros in financing solutions with EDCE projects currently being deployed, supported by 116 million US dollar investment of the French Development Agency and Create Fund. So for the majority of young professionals in the sector, access to finance is a major challenge. So in this respect, the launch of the cultural entrepreneurship support for Nigeria with 1.2 million euros and the creation of a cultural entrepreneurship office in Lagos are a response at the needs of local actors.
Okay, is this your first visit here?
Yeah,
Ooh, welcome.
It is, but I'm sure it will be not only one. Yeah.
I still won't be. I mean, listen, President Macron came to Nigeria a few years ago.
Yeah.
He went to the shrine. I was there.
Yeah.
Right. You know, one of the things we're really famous for is Fela, right? The music of the great Fela Kuti. And I know President Macron, your president, was a big fan. You know, I won't tell you what he said when he came here as a child. The other thing we're famous for is jollof rice. We Nigerians can't stop talking about our jollof rice.
Yeah.
Have you tasted it?
The
jollof rice, our speciality. Say yes. Just say yes.
Yes. No.
Just say yes.
No. I should say I eat yesterday.
Okay.
It's a
now you're forgiven.
It's a spicy rice.
It's a spicy rice.
Little spicy, but no, it's good. I enjoyed it really.
It was too spicy for you, right?
No, it was not too spicy. It's little bit spicy, but it was an excellent rice.
Okay.
So jollof.
Well, coming
jollof
to Nigeria
rice,
not trying jollof, it's like going to France and not visiting a patisserie. It would be literally, you can't not, right? You have to. Frank Reister visited Nigeria 2 years ago.
Yeah.
At this time, he said that French companies see opportunities in Nigeria, but that the security and taxation issues remain a challenge. Between that time and now, what has changed for the better or worse, and what can be done to improve this business environment in view of these challenges?
Well, what investors consider a good investment climate is well known, of course. To thrive, they need a reliable and stable tax and legal environment, functional infrastructure, and a justice system as efficient and independent as possible. Access to foreign exchange is also key in order to conduct and grow its business. Foreign investors constantly need to make transactions and transfers in foreign currency. This is why we welcome the Nigerian government's efforts towards a well-functioning foreign exchange market. Of course, it is not my place, however, to comment on the domestic policy of a friendly country such as Nigeria. What I can say is that I'm impressed by a bold reform plan President Tinubu and his cabinet have put forward. So we hope they will keep improving the business environment in Nigeria, and they have already raised high expectation among French companies and investors. A more attractive business environment is crucial if we want to foster inclusive growth for the Nigerian people, and of course for straightening the link between the French and Nigerian companies.
Let's talk about your visit. You're the third French minister coming to Nigeria this year.
Yeah.
What message are you trying to get to our government?
Well, the most important message is that Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa and the most populous country. So strengthening our partnership with Nigeria is a no-brainer. I'm not sure there is any message to send. We acknowledge what Nigeria is, what Nigeria has become, and we are here to partner with you through all possible channels. 3 ministerial visits, as you said, a year should not come as a surprise between the largest economy in Africa and one of the top 10 economies globally. Nigeria is already our largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa, with more than 5.4 billion euro in 2022. Our stock of direct investment has reached around 10 billion euros, and there are 100 French companies present throughout the countries, employing more than 10,000 people, and most of them, of course, are Nigerians. It is in oil, gas, food, logistics, communications, pharmaceutical industry, and insurance. So today we have two priorities guiding our partnership projects: creating jobs for young people and strengthening the employability of young people, of course. And the second objective is developing academic partnerships. The number of Nigerian students traveling to France for academic exchange is steadily increasing, but there is still considerable potential for progress.
Of course. Of course. So, to what extent is your renewed interest in Nigeria a form of response to the increasing, and we can't avoid this, obviously, increasing anti-French sentiments in Francophone Africa?
Well, I think the anti-French narrative is a reality on several parts of the African continent, mostly in Francophone countries. But let me acknowledge that France and Africa have to heal some historical wounds, sometimes deep. One of the aspects of this issue is the restitution of African artifacts, which France has initiative. Secondly, many people in Africa feel frustrated by economic, social, and security problems. Sometimes France is blamed for not doing enough to stem this problem, but at the same time, France stands accused, sometimes by the same people, of interfering in the internal affair of African countries facing these difficulties. And I want to make very clear that our partnership are based on consensus, and the presence of our armed force is only possible at the explicit request of our African partners. It was the case in Mali, it was the case in Burkina or in Niger. It was to fight against the jihadist terrorists, and absolutely not on the willingness of the only France. It's on consensus, and I think that today we should have a new partnership with the African countries, including, of course, the Francophone countries in Africa, a partnership on 360 degrees on culture, on economy, on education. Our goal is to build new partnerships for the good of the people, for the good of the planet, by energy transition, of course. And I think this is something we can achieve together.
Good. So let's talk about trade again.
Yeah.
In what ways does the French government view the potential for expanding economic and trade ties between France and Nigeria?
Well, my visit was scheduled to coincide with the tenure of the French Week in Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a series of high-level events held in Nigeria's economic capital, organized by the French-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, which boasts over 450 members from all sectors and industry. My objective is the following: keep maintaining and strengthening our relationship with a partner we hold dear, Nigeria. Several deals were made public, especially in the field of agribusiness. Radial Holdings and company Fruitière announced their projects to grow bananas in Cross River States.
Nice.
Semaris has also proposed to the government state of Lagos to buy a wholesale food market
Nice.
in Ipe. Farm Milk, which is a brand of Danone, assigned with Cool Books, a startup founded in France by Nigerian entrepreneurs in order to use innovative fridges for the delivery operation. And other deals were signed in the field of renewable energy, including Ecosys and Total Energies. So, moreover, we hope to position France as a top destination for Nigerian startups and investors who want to target international markets tech is indeed a very promising area for partnerships between France and Nigeria. French entrepreneurs are already here, as evidenced by the entrepreneurs of the French tech Lagos. I visited it this morning. Some startups at Beta Stores, Quick, or Coolbox. And France is, of course, a powerhouse in entrepreneurship and innovation. So Lagosians might notice banners with a motto like "Make it iconic." Choose France on a few landmarks, and this is part of our communication campaign to try it and update the way people in Nigeria and everywhere in the world see us, to highlight France for what it is, a powerhouse for creativity and innovation.
Okay, brilliant. Finally, well, this is supposed to be final, but I've got a sneaky question I'm going to put in for you. Okay, but finally, in what sector is the French most active in Nigeria today? And which sectors are the most promising according to you? Should we expect any major French investments in the near future?
I think we are the most active now in energy and agro-food. But I think all sectors are very promising. And I think, of course, that the tech industry is very promising for the next years. That's the reason we spoke about the French tech. And of course, I think that behind the digital economy, cultural and creative industry, we also need to really invest on energy transition.
Okay.
So to develop, and we just visited ENGIE headquarters here in Lagos. We have to invest more on solar panels because solar panels is a very good instrument to make electricity power for everybody everywhere. So I think this is the most important.
Okay, I have a question here on WhatsApp. Between Nigeria and France, who stands to gain most from each other? That's from one of our listeners.
Who
stands to gain most from each other between Nigeria and France partnership?
No, I think it's a win-win partnership. It's really a win-win partnership. Nigerian companies are pretty welcome here in France, and I think we really have partnership to build together, especially on tech, and we know, and on food we also visited the company Foods for Nation with your incredible internet platform. So we really have to gain with the Nigerian economy in France. And on the other side, I think we have a lot of partnerships to build here to create job also for the young people here in Nigeria. And I think in this win-win partnership, we can build prosperity for each nations. And this is the most important, because I'm convinced I'm coming from a region, in east of France, which name is Alsace region. And my both grandparents lived 2 world wars in France and in Alsace. And the thing we have learned by history is there is no peace if there is no prosperity. And to have prosperity, you should have also energy, a low cost and huge energy. And I think it's mostly the same in Africa today. We have to develop energy to develop prosperity for the people. And if we have prosperity, we will have peace. And this is the most important thing we can have today. And by the renewable energy, we also acting for the planet. So it's good for the planet, it's good for the people, it's good also for peace, it's also for humanity. So I think that the partnership between Nigeria and France is really a win-win partnership for both countries, but it's also a win-win partnership for other countries too.
Excellent. Finally, though, what was your first thoughts on Lagos when you arrived in Lagos? I can't let you go without hearing the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, the truth and just the truth. You did. I'm quite sure you didn't do that. But in my ancient history, it was on a certain life before being appointed minister, before being elected people on local governments in France. I was judge. So I know the formula, the truth and only the truth. No, Lagos is just an amazing city. It's just incredible. It's the biggest city in Africa, and you can feel the energy in the heart of the people. So it's very amazing. I'm very happy to discover Lagos, and I'm also very happy to discover Nigeria. As I said, it's not. It's my first visit, but it's not the only one. So I think there is a Hollywood film.
Are you pretending that I'm a Hollywood star?
Not Nollywood,
sometimes
but
in my dreams.
Not Nollywood, but Hollywood. Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah. With an actor named Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I don't look like him though.
No, me neither. But Arnold said at the Terminator, you know Terminator.
And he said,
I will come back. I will back. So I will back to Nigeria. I can promise you. So I can promise you a perfect mastery of Pidgin. But
Fabulous.
if you learn French, I will learn some Pidgin. And I understand your favorite expression is no wahala.
A round of applause. Thank you so much, Olivier Becht.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I've had fun chatting to you. And I promise you, by the time you come back, I'll be able to say a bit more words and actually tell my son that I do speak French.
Yes. Have
Thank
a nice
you.
evening.
Yes, you
everybody.
too. Au revoir.
Thank you. Au revoir.
This is your number one station.
99.3.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.